Hello Queens, welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. Today I want to have a little bit of a different conversation. Have you ever felt, or do you feel like it's too late to start over and chase your dream, chase something that you're passionate about? That's what I want to talk to you about today because it's been on my mind just because of things I see and I read across the different social media platforms and just in general conversation with other people. I want to kind of tell you my story. So while I'm putting on a little bit of makeup this morning, I thought we would kind of walk through how I got to where I am today. It wasn't an easy journey. It's still not an easy journey, but it's one that I'm glad that I pursued. Something you're interested in, something that's been on your mind, on your heart, stick around and let's have this conversation. I decided back in 2019, I was in the process of planning my wedding to my second husband, whom I adore. And I was 51 at the time. The kids are, between us, we have 6 kids, and they were getting ready to, the majority of them had already flown the nest. So we only had a couple of the boys left at the house with us, and one of them was finishing school and the other 2 had tried the college route and it wasn't working for them. So they were pursuing careers and we were getting to the point where we were gonna be empty nesters. You know, it started me thinking, you know, my husband and I, we enjoy each other's company. We have a lot of hobbies that we do together. In the same regard, we also have our own thing. Now he's self-employed, so he has plenty to keep him busy. I have a corporate career, which I absolutely do love, but I needed something more. And here's the interesting thing. If you're Gen X, I don't know what it was like growing up in your household as a Gen X person, but I know that in the environment I grew up, blue collar town, parents, my mom worked in a factory, my dad worked for a lumber yard, but you know, he was much older, so he was actually retired and just doing some accounting work on the side. They were good parents, but they were not the kind that would encourage you to chase your dream, go to college. It was more about, this is how you grew up, follow in the family footsteps of, you know, potentially going into blue collar work or whatever it was you wanted to do, but it was something you just needed to figure out. So I kind of was given the message growing up that I was more of a follower and not a leader. So when I got into adulthood, I just didn't feel like I could do what I really wanted to do. I've always had a passion for beauty. I've always had a passion for makeup. You know, back when I was in, I think, the 6th grade, you know, sneak into mom's cabinet in the bathroom and get out, I don't know if y'all remember the electric blue eyeshadow, and wear that in middle school. So I grew up in that conventional Gen X era with that conventional Gen X mindset. And as I was getting older, I went through, just like everybody else, your 20s, your 30s, trying to figure things out, raising a family. And I never really gave it much thought. I just put it on the back burner because my focus was making sure that I could put food on the table and pay the bills. There were points in my life where I was at an all-time low, and I finally figured out that if I wanted changes, no one was going to do it for me. I had to do it myself. So I had really, I would say in my mid to late 30s, I would say mid-30s, really started pushing myself in my career and finally accelerated myself and learned a lot and was able to propel myself to much higher levels in the field that I'm in, which is a tech environment in the HR space. I absolutely love what I do. And when I started getting close to my 50s, I started thinking, we're getting close to retirement age. What am I gonna do when I retire? Because I am one of those people, I can't sit still. I gotta be doing something all the time. Even when I am at home and my husband and I are just chilling, I need to be doing something. I need to be either playing with makeup, researching something on the internet, knitting, coloring, doing some sort of craft. I'm not one that can sit still. And my thought was, okay, say I retire at, 62, 65, whatever. I know how I am, and I am not going to be able to just have nothing to do. I need a purpose. And that's when I started thinking, what do I enjoy? What makes me happy? What fills me with energy and purpose? And I started seeing advertisements for a school. It's actually a store here in the Houston area called the Makeup Artist Project. And they were offering a 15-week fundamentals makeup course. Now, in the state of Texas, you don't have to be certified to be a makeup artist. So anybody can advertise themselves as a makeup artist with or without any professional training. It's different, obviously, if you want to be a cosmetologist and do hair and aesthetics or nails or whatever, but not when it comes to makeup, which honestly blows my mind. But regardless, so I said, you know what? What the hell? I'm gonna do this. At the time, I was doing direct sales on the side. Wasn't seeing a whole lot of success with that, but surprise, surprise. And it was makeup based, so I'm like, I'm going to sell makeup. I should be well-versed in how to use it, how to recommend certain products to my clientele, have some authority on it, because that's what I needed to do in my corporate career. In order to advance in my corporate career, I had to learn, right? I had to become proficient and become a subject matter expert in that particular field. And I have such a passion for learning and practicing and doing deep dives, so I took the course. Keep in mind, this is towards late 2019. Took the course. It didn't finish until February of 2020. Got my certification, and then of course, the world went crazy. So I didn't really have much of an opportunity to build a business. What I did during that period was I continued to educate myself through different means, through workshops, through watching and studying professional makeup artists, celebrity makeup artists, through reading, through practicing on myself, practicing on my daughters, because at the end of the day, my goal is to retire from corporate life and retire with something waiting for me. And I'm going to build that now, because this is what brings me joy. This is what gives me my sense of purpose. It's what many would call a second act. And for me, it's the beauty space, because that's what lights my fire. So how am I balancing this with the corporate job? I'm gonna be perfectly frank. It's not easy. And the fact that I'm one of millions that has ADD. And sometimes that can get in the way, right? Because I get distracted, I go down rabbit holes, I get too many things going at once, and then I feel overwhelmed. So it is at times a struggle to balance everything. But where I feel I have a bit of an advantage is because my background is in technology. One of the things that I have found as technology continues to advance is that we're seeing more and more and more technology apply to the beauty space, whether it's in product formulation, it's in the tools that we use. I personally do not feel that the technology will ever replace an actual makeup artist. That's something that's a very nuanced field. It's very personal. Understanding the technology that's here today and what's coming, and being able to parlay that into the beauty space, I feel is something unique that I can bring to you guys. And juggling, trying to build this beauty business, trying to be here as an educator and build this community, working a corporate career, and also making time, quality time to spend with my husband, with our adult children as they continue to grow their relationships and their families. It's not easy. What I find that I have to do, and I'm not always successful at it, which I'm not ashamed to admit that, I have to really schedule my time. I have to be very structured. A lot of times what I'll do is I will, like during the week when I'm at work, I take my lunchtime and I'll go sit in another room and I'll work on a blog post or do some research or take a workshop that is either related to AI, because AI is the future, or some sort of beauty workshop or technology, or do some research on new products. So it's a balancing act. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not perfect. It takes a lot of work. And there are times when my husband will say, oh, you're gonna go disappear upstairs again to work. And that's my cue, and I'm still learning this, to put a pause. That can wait. spend some time with him, whether we go golfing, we go bowling, we go out running errands together, or what have you. I found that it also helps, because he is super supportive, to communicate with him and say, hey, I really need, this X amount of time to work on content, because I do enjoy doing it. It's just I get anxiety when it's looming in my head that I need to do it and I'm running behind, and which, as you guys will notice on my channel, I'm not always super consistent with when I post my videos, and that's part of the reason, because of life. And I just have to give myself some grace sometime and accept the fact that I can't do it all. One of the other reasons why I decided to make this video is I had a comment. I received a comment on another video I had done. It really inspired me. It was from another woman in her early 50s that found that particular video, I think it was a YouTube short of me doing makeup on one of my clients, inspired her, because she's felt doubts and she was looking to get back into doing hair. And she just felt that my video spoke to her and really gave her the motivation to continue pursuing getting back into that beauty space, which she loves. By the way, I love this brow gel from Live Tinted, and anything I'm putting on my face today, I will share with you guys in the notes below. I have no idea what I'm doing as far as a look, so we're just gonna kind of wing it. So why did I decide to focus on women over 40? A couple of reasons. Number one, obviously, I'm over 40. And number two, what I see out there on social media, in brand marketing, is a lot of young folks. They don't market to women in our age group. It's like when you hit this certain point, they forget about us. And guess what? We have the power of the purse. We make 85% of the purchase decisions in our households. We probably spend in the US alone, from my recent research, which I also posted a carousel about this on Instagram, I believe it was like 15 trillion in the US are spent on purchases by women 40 and over. So regardless, the other thing that I find is, as I'm reading comments, because I do, for anybody that I follow or anybody I subscribe to on YouTube, I read the comments that they get. Number one, for research. Number two, just to kind of get a sense of like, what are other women in my age group asking? And when I see that, I see common themes, and they're things that I know that I can help with based on what I have learned. And where I really get my joy is, I find it very relaxing to do makeup on not only myself, but on others as well. Really, my point of joy is when I am working with a client in a one-on-one education session, whether it's via Zoom or in person, is when I share something with them, either a technique or maybe a different product that they haven't tried, a different way to maybe apply their bronzer or contour, or just basic information, and they find so much value in it. They're perfect example. I had a client, she was in her early 60s. She had a debilitating condition. She had been a radiologist nurse for many, many, many years. And I don't know if it was her career that impacted her health or something else, but she has this condition where I guess her bones fuse or break easy or whatever, but she can't bend her wrist. And she, sweetest lady I have ever met. So she came over and we were going over some new techniques. I showed her a couple of beauty tools that are designed for users that have issues with either shaking or MS or Parkinson's or whatever, to make it easier for them to put on makeup. I'll share that in the notes as well. It's Guide Beauty. We were walking through contour, and the light bulb moment that she had, you guys, I mean, it was, oh my God, it just was overwhelming to me. All I did was show her different placement for where to put contour versus bronzer, and I explained the difference between the two in regards to temperature, and her reaction was absolutely amazing. I mean, still to this day, it's like I feel so much joy and positivity when I think back to her reaction to that. I did share it in, I think it was like a TikTok reel or whatever. That's what drives me, right? That's what makes me feel so good about what I can bring to the table for our community. Do I have doubts? Yep. Do I have burnout moments? Yep. I suffer from imposter syndrome on some days like nobody's business, as I'm sure many women do. Whether you're trying to build your own business or not, you could still get imposter syndrome in your career. But I keep going, right? And what keeps me going is when I read comments, whether it's on something I've posted or something somebody else has posted. I hate the term anti-aging. I want to change that narrative. I'm very passionate about changing that narrative because that's not what life is about. And we know this, right? It's about continuing to age, aging in the way that suits you, aging in a healthy way. Because what's the alternative if we're not aging, right? There is no secret magic fountain of youth. So just embrace your life, live your life, enjoy your life, right? And the other thing is authenticity. It's one of my core values. When I convey information to you guys, right? It's information that I've either researched, I've learned. I don't take things at necessarily face value. When I hear something, I deep dive into it to make sure it's true, to make sure it works. So when you come to my channel or you see one of my social media posts, that's authentic, that's me. I'm not doing something because, say for example, a brand sent me a product and I'm gonna give them a glowing review because they sent me a product. I do have a few small independent brands that do send me products. Matter of fact, CosRx sent me this, I think it's a new sunscreen stick, SPF 50. It's light and clear. I don't normally use sunscreen sticks, but I digress. So I just wanted to see how it played with makeup. But anyway, what you get from me is real. This is it. This is who I am. Take it or leave it, because I'm at that point in my life where I would rather have a small community of people who value their relationship with me, value the community, value what I have to offer, than to have some big, huge community with people that just follow to follow, don't really put a whole lot of stock in what I have to say. It's very important to me to be as truthful with you guys as I possibly can based on the information I have at that time. So I know this is long-winded, and if I talk too slow on my videos, you guys please let me know, because a lot of times I've got 10 zillion thoughts going on in my head, trying to get them all out. I do have to create talking points for myself because I'll forget. But I've noticed, like on a couple of my previous videos, I want to be less scripted. I really want to do more off the cuff, because that's where you guys really can get to know me as a person. So any comments that you have in regards to my filming style, if you said, do I need to speak faster, whatever, too many words, it's the ADD in me. I can't help it. But my message today is really just to convey, do what the hell you want to do. Don't let anybody, and I mean anybody, tell you you can't. You're at that age in your life where time matters, right? Not that time doesn't matter for, say, our kids who are between the ages of 25 and 30. It really starts to sink in. And if there's something out there that you've been wanting to do it. Go find some courses through adult education at your local community college. Find some online workshops. Maybe start following folks that are professionals in the field that you're interested in, and start some conversations with them. Because at the end of the day, you are your own biggest fan, and you need to start telling yourself that, because nobody's gonna do it for you, right? So I know this was a little bit heavier, and I hope you got some value out of it. I would greatly appreciate if you drop your comments. Let's have this conversation. What are some things that you would like to pursue that you haven't? Maybe I know some resources that I can share with you. What are some wins that you've had? Have you found what your passion is and started to pursue it? Have you turned it into a business? Have you thought about a second act after you retire from whatever career you're in now? Are you struggling with doubts? Do you need help kind of getting out of your own head? I really appreciate every comment that you guys put on my videos. I know I'm just a small and growing channel, but I'm here for the Gen X woman. That's who I'm here for. And I hope you find value in what I've shared today. If you did, please share it with your girlfriends, your mom, your friends, your siblings, and like and comment below, because every little bit is appreciated, and I truly appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video.